Good morning, boys and girls, ladies and gentlemen, children of all ages. Welcome to today's episode of Market Check, brought to you by none other than Because Bitcoin. A reminder that there is no second best daily YouTube live stream to talk about these markets. But I hope you all have had a great week. It is Thursday. It is just another one of those weeks where time flies, and I feel like that's usually the case when you have like this bullish backdrop in essentially all asset classes. You just have time fly by. But I'm Snorlax. You guys also know me as Tommy. I'm joined by a full casting crew today of Tucker, Jackus, Max, and Dr. Will's Outlook. I think this is our first episode back where we've had the full cast and crew. So unless we had it on Tuesday, if I'm not mistaken, I'm not sure. But either way, I'm excited to have everybody here. Excited for everybody to be sharing their alpha. But real quickly, guys, before we start cooking and sharing that alpha, you guys know what I'm going to have to do. I'm going to have to ask you to hit the like button. Whether you want to or whether you have to do it begrudgingly, it means a whole lot to us as a channel, as a team, and allows us to be able to continue to bring you guys this content, these streams, and maybe even some new content here in the future that we're excited to continue rolling out for you guys. But just make sure to hit that like button if you can. It means a lot to us, and we'll go ahead and get started. But I mean, let's talk about Bitcoin, guys. Or maybe the better thing to talk about this morning is probably altcoins, because Bitcoin has more or less been, trading sideways since it hit 52K. We talked about the importance of this level from an options structural standpoint. February 23rd is the day I'm watching for when those relevant options, at least as far as, what we've at least been talking about, just so I can kind of run back the tape here and make a little bit more sense for people who might not be watching. And I'm sorry if you hear some background noise. My cat just found a plastic bag. But one of the things we've been talking about is there was a ton of volume over the last 2 weeks for the 50 and 53K strikes on Bitcoin. And unsurprisingly, it became a magnet for price as options on Deribit and on Bitcoin specifically really over the last year and a half have tended to do. So now we have, that the relevant dates, the February 16th and February 23rd were the relevant dates, but we're now, obviously on the back end of that. And that 50 to 53K strikes, those contracts had the highest amount of volume. So I'm very curious to see how we're going to trade after the 23rd. Bitcoin is arguably flagging. It's in distribution. I think you could argue both, but for me personally, I tend to think the context of this week has looked very bullish to me. And why I say that is because you've had Bitcoin doing this just awful, brutal, choppy range. And, I still think, for the record, I could still see one more flush lower, right? Like we could totally see that. But, the profile of this week where you have Bitcoin just going sideways while altcoins bleed out on their Bitcoin pairs, I think about a Sol down like 15% this week. That's arguably the biggest non-Ethereum major, in the market, and it has just bled incessantly against Bitcoin all week. And then the flip side is you've been slowly resetting funding, not fully resetting. You can never fully reset funding in a bull market, but a lot of these altcoins do look a lot healthier, in my opinion, than they did at the start of the week. And Bitcoin is trading at basically the same price, which I do think is a pretty positive profile for the market as a whole. One thing I talked about on the Giga Chat call this morning that I think could end up playing a role is, we've talked a lot about the eventual bid coming in on Total 3, and I'm sure it will eventually. But for now, the people bidding the coins, the bankers, they want the majors, man. They want Bitcoin, the ETH, the Sol. And so you might continue to see outperformance from those assets here in the short term. And obviously, you're always going to find something that's going to outperform those assets. But, if it's a situation where the bankers like Bitcoin so much, they're just going to keep bidding it, that might be a better hold, at least until Bitcoin, Bitcoin finds a top over, some of these altcoins that trade in parity with Bitcoin until they hit their highs. And then while Bitcoin goes sideways, they kind of retrace a lot of their gains. But I still think that sticking with the altcoins really that have proven that strong underlying bid. And I think a great example of that is the AI coins. I mean, on the back of NVIDIA earnings yesterday, we've had AI coins pretty much send overnight. I don't think they're done sending. I don't think NVIDIA is done sending. And speaking on equities a little bit more, I think that the new high that we're seeing shouldn't even be a surprise, because NVIDIA earnings, we've talked a lot about. I always talk about how macro events tend to lead to a new high for the equities or for equity indices, just because you have so many people that end up shorting the news that they just get turned into fuel for another leg. It's just kind of a mechanical thing. And NVIDIA earnings have almost become like the FOMC of for bulls, right? In the same way that it used to be for bears. FOMC day, Jerome Powell, what's he going to say now? It's like NVIDIA earnings. What are they going to say to pump AI? How many times are they going to say AI? So I think there's just this really interesting dynamic with equity markets right now. And obviously, as long as NVIDIA is the Chad that it is, you have a tough time kind of envisioning what an equity top does look like. But let's talk about markets, guys. I ran a little long on my intro today, but I think, I mean, look, we had an insane move from NVIDIA after hours, and it's now stuck. The landing here in New York session, it's kind of exactly like the last few NVIDIA earnings, where you have this huge move that gets priced into the IV on options, and it ends up doing it anyway. The interesting thing for me on this earnings play was that they just bled it out all week, because people knew it was going to go up on earnings. But man, oh man, early buyers got taken to the woodshed before it actually happened. But what are we seeing in the markets, guys? And anything sticking out to y'all this morning? AI coins, NVIDIA, crypto, Bitcoin. What we got?
Yeah. Well, I mean, it looks like this is another one of those NVIDIA gaps that is not going to fill, and everybody, including me, is going to wait for it to fill. Look at that last one, right? Looks like it's just another gap for NVIDIA. I don't know, man. Absolutely insane chart. I feel like the way that this ends is that NVIDIA goes over 1,000 and they split the stock, and then that's more or less going to be like the local top finally. But I don't see why it wouldn't just keep going up. This is absolutely incredible to watch. We should have just been playing NVIDIA all year.
Yeah.
Why are we even playing crypto for outsized returns? We've been in the wrong market. We should be trading NVIDIA. But
I saw a great meme on that, Max. It was somebody who was holding WorldCoin and up like 40 or 50%, and it was like, you bet you wish you had these returns. And it shows a guy gambling on NVIDIA calls up 900%. I don't think about you at all.
Can you imagine if like what was the low? Was it like October was the low of last year, Tucker? What was the date of the local low? October.
Yeah, it was October.
Okay. Imagine if you had bought like 15-month out, like $500 calls on NVIDIA at that low. Can you? I mean, you'd be up what 50,000% or something. I don't even know how you'd figure that out. I mean, somebody would have sold you a $500 call 15 months out for nothing.
Yeah, it's up 7x a year.
I know somebody out there did it. I don't know who it is, but somebody out there hit a move like that and was like, all right, it can't get much worse than this. I love NVIDIA. They like totally understood it and saw it and just bought leaps on it and is just cashed right now.
But here's the thing: we're missing out on a bigger picture, and that was Tommy coming to arms yesterday and saying what he said actively on Twitter, which was, as long as NVIDIA sees a bid, I see Render running. Guys, I think we got to talk about the elephant in the freaking room today from that.
Let's talk about the AI coins, man.
Oh,
you'd love to see it.
Oh my gosh, I gotta give kudos. That's all, man. Kudos where kudos is due. Definitely a discussion we brought up with many different coins. This one, Akash, even GRT. Tommy, look at GRT, man.
GRT ripping today too.
Yeah.
Oh man.
Do you guys think that all the selling yesterday was? Do you think the selling yesterday was just people hedging into NVIDIA earnings? Similarly, like Tommy, how you mentioned, NVIDIA earnings is now the new FOMC, where people used to aggressively hedge and risk off into FOMC. Do you think that this is just hedges coming off the board now, and we've got clear skies ahead?
Well, I definitely think it was hedges coming off the board. I mean, absolutely. I saw some commentary from somebody who said the order books for NVIDIA after hours were basically the same as like SPOOs at open. So if that gives you any indication of how heavily traded NVIDIA has become and how heavily traded NVIDIA earnings are, I definitely think this was some sort of mechanical move where you saw hedges come off the board. And I think it's one of those things where, like, we're back above the high. If you hold above the high, you're probably open for another move now higher on the S&P, confluent with NVIDIA, which, I don't think NVIDIA is done. And if I don't think NVIDIA is done, if NVIDIA can run to like 900 to 1,000, I talked to the Discord about it this morning. It's like, yes, we've had a blow off top on NVIDIA, but we're in parabola now. So you can't really just consolidate and go sideways. It's like you're either going even higher, or you've already put the parabola top in and you're about to dump a lot. And I still think that we have yet to see like that huge, it'll be probably a pretty quick, like 2 or 3 week, 40 to 50% candle on NVIDIA. Totally FOMO driven and totally a result of people calling up their money managers and asking, why the hell am I not in NVIDIA already?
Tommy, what was that chip? There was a chip name that just went crazy like last week. What was it? SMCI or something?
SMCI. Will and I talked about that yesterday. I think that it's probably cooked, but it can make a new high basically.
But are you looking for NVIDIA to basically just kind of do something like that? Maybe not quite as crazy, or maybe as crazy. I don't know. But
I would say so too. That's like, if you look at NVIDIA, like just pull up the previous pullbacks. Like it's gonna be in this like year uptrend continuous for now, and then it's just gonna run sideways in that half circle. It's really weird, but like NVIDIA just makes these legs and then runs the half circle and then makes another leg, then runs the half circle again on the monthly. So it's just one of those stocks that just, it forms a floor and never comes back and fills the previous. But I think NVIDIA is the new Tesla this cycle, man. I really do. Where Tesla of 2021 just became an absolute monster. I think that's what NVIDIA is of this cycle, and people are absolutely fading like idiots. Like, I don't even know if bears exist anymore. I think they're an extinct creature. If they're not, they're definitely sleeping under a bridge somewhere, getting ready to be.
Is this Will or is this Air Mass? I can't tell. You're starting to sound the same.
Bro, look, you would have told me a year ago, hey, this is what's gonna happen. I'd have told you you're absolutely insane. But like, I've just been following the money, man. I'm not dumb. I can't let my ego overtake what's obvious in these markets.
Yeah, man. So what do we think about this? Tucker's got crypto pulled up, man. Is this just bullish chop? They're trying to shake you out before the generational pump, or what? Because the title of today's show is "You're in Denial About How High We're Going."
Who made the title, man?
That's courtesy of yours, but
I do think Bitcoin's going higher from here.
Yeah,
like the profile this week has been pretty good. Obviously you've probably had some late longs come in at the highs, which is why I've kind of been thinking that you might get that rate on 50K. But the fact that it's gone sideways with altcoins bleeding and funding resetting is pretty bullish. That's kind of undeniable.
Mm-hmm.
If you're sidelined right now, I don't feel your pain, but I can understand your pain. All right, I can understand your pain.
No, you can't, Will. What are you talking about? Will's just lying to you. He can't feel your pain at all. You're alone.
Like,
Will's the last guy to feel your pain. He's been dumpster diving.
Bro, these dumpsters they've been cooking. They turned the dumpsters into actual grills. We just been throwing slabs.
You know that meme? It's like don't believe his lies. That's Will right now, trying to empathize with you if you're sidelined. Don't believe his lies.
I remember like a week ago, Max, people were like, you guys are always bullish. You guys, bullish propaganda. It's not going to work out for you.
Me?
In the comments. People in the comments.
Oh, I was like, Will, dude. That is not me.
No, not us, Will.
Those people are now sitting here in awe, like it's going to implode any day now. No, it's not. It's not going to implode at all. I do want to point out one thing, though. With this NVIDIA bid, man, I think AI is going to make a resurgence. You're already seeing it in Render. You're seeing it in Akash. You're seeing it in GRT. Again, all these And Filecoin, I know people are laughing now. You're not going to be laughing later. Watch and see if this thing doesn't pull off and start moving heavily to the upside. I have no doubt about it. The whole bag holder narrative is not a narrative in a bull run, guys. It's just not. You'll be bought out of your positions if you want to exit. That just is what it is. Render's showing that, Akasha's showing that, and you got GRT showing that. There were a couple other ones that were brought up in the comments here actually that are really good pickups too. But I think this market has a lot higher. ICP too, yeah. People, I love the cope on ICP, guys. I do want to bring that up because like so many people talk shit about it. Watch and see if this doesn't become some kind of weird cycle where ICP makes a comeback from the 2021 lows. It almost reminds me of Sol.
ICP is the TikTok coin.
Tommy, did you see that comment?
Pixel is the new XE.
No. Where would you TP Render?
Oh, 11 to 13 bucks, honestly. I'm not even joking. I'd love to see it up there. Because I mean, like, it looks exactly like what I've been watching for NVIDIA, or to play out on NVIDIA, and it has played out on NVIDIA almost to a T. So I think Render's going to end up doing the same thing.
And
so
before we go to 11 to 13 bucks, like, it's going to be impossible to get to 11 to 13 bucks with the likes as low as they are in the video. I know you might be thinking there's no correlation between the likes on this video and the price of RNDR, but there is. So guys, we have 150 people watching between YouTube and X right now. All right. Specifically on YouTube, we have over 90 people watching with less than 40 likes. Guys, that is abysmal. We are lagging worse than ETH against Bitcoin right now. Guys, do me a favor, do all of us a solid. If you are enjoying the content, please consider helping us grow, continue to grow as fast as we are by hitting that thumbs up button for us, guys. Smash that thumbs up button for us. It really does wonders for the channel. I promise I would not bug, badger, and berate you to like if it didn't make a huge difference, but it does. So I have to ask every single day. But yeah, guys, please do us a solid. Hit that thumbs up button for us. Let's run these likes up. We're here Monday through Friday at 10:55 a.m. Eastern time doing this live stream market check brought to you by Because Bitcoin. We're here for free, an hour and a half a day. And all that we ask in return is that you help push the content, help us grow the channel by liking. And for those of you on X, guys, you're not out of the woods. You guys have been killing it lately. I will give credit where it's due. All right, because you guys have a special function that the YouTube crowd doesn't have. You have the ability to not only hit the heart button, but also hit the retweet button. A retweet is like 3 or 4 likes in and of itself. So if you guys are watching on X, and there's 60 of you watching right now, do us a solid before we continue. We're here for free. We're grinding. We're putting in that work. We love that you guys are here, but we need a favor. All right. Not only hit the heart, but also hit the retweet button, guys. Help spread the good word. Help get this stream out to more people. And guys, thanks again so much for being here. We greatly appreciate the continued day-to-day support. Hit that like, hit that subscribe if you're new, and also hit that retweet button if you're watching on X. But Tucker, back to you.
Dude, they're like, where are levels here, man? Like, I don't even know, like, let's flip this, but, where do you even, I guess that 12.5 level, but Tommy, are you equating like up here to like $1,000 NVIDIA basically?
Yeah, basically.
Yeah.
I don't know if it goes quite to like 12 or 13 bucks, but I'm going to be closing my perps out at like 11 bucks personally.
Yeah. Bro, I think if you're in a long here, you're in probably the best position of your life. Like, you're probably not going to get liquidated at all. The thing is, especially like if you started yesterday, right? Like, I'm not saying like right here, but if you started when Tommy talked about it, like that was the position. And really, in addition to that, we gave you guys some actual gems that moved really well since yesterday. We talked about Render, we talked about GRT, we talked about Akash, and we did it all for like literal, like some chewed bubble gum. I said 65 likes, and we give you guys some gems. We gave them. Did they produce or did they not? If they did, and you guys are in the comments and you haven't hit the like button, I would highly urge you to do so, because we'll continue to do this but only if we can get the same respect that we're giving you. We're giving you plays that can make you money. You just simply hit the like button. That doesn't cost you a thing. I know I'm doubling back on that, but I feel like with what we gave you guys yesterday, that's well worth the everybody in this room to hit the like button. Everybody.
Oh, they're smashing, man. They're absolutely smashing. No doubt. They always come through. Tucker, what if you drew some well, that's cozy first.
Well,
That's
dude,
kind
this
of
is
what
like I think you're in the gap, right, of what Nvidia would have done if you know what I mean. Like, because Nvidia didn't have quite as vertical of an ascent, obviously, as Render, right, as a crypto would have, but I feel like you're in this gap, breaching all-time highs, and then you probably just do something. Oh no, back this one. There we go. You probably just do something like that above. I know you want it more vertical, don't you, Tommy? Jeez, man. Jeez.
Guys, this ain't like just look. You don't need a chart. Just look for a random number way high up in the chart and just go for it. That's where this is going.
So
it's
what
it's a
if,
2 billion market cap. 2 billion.
what if you drew some fibs, Tucker, from like the previous all-time high you have marked there all the way to the bottom, and you put on like the 1.618 in price? You'll have to flip that, obviously.
Oh, you want to flip it?
Yeah, flip it for me, or just click reverse. Yeah, because I feel like that might be your target right there. Just like
There
a
you
clean
go.
breakout, 1.618. Tommy Confluence looking to take profit in that region ish. That seems to be kind of a nice little spot, truthfully.
If we end up in a raging bull market, Max, it's probably closer to 2418. You're
Oh, for
probably
sure.
doubling that.
I'm just talking short-term targets, right? Like I
Yeah.
think that everybody's like 6 to 12 month out targets are too low right now.
Exactly.
Way too low. If you have spot RNDR from $5 or under, I don't know why you would mess up that entry. You know, if you're trading it on leverage, that's a different game. But
That's why we have
yeah,
both.
I mean, that's right.
Yeah, spot doesn't make any sense to be selling around that range. I'd take it much higher. Personally, the other thing is too, and we talked about this, Max, live on the show, and I even discussed it because like when I thought that it was going to hit, and I was like, ETH was lagging Bitcoin by almost 100% move. We've only hit the midpoint really in reality on ETH. And I think just not enough people have even recognized that. Now a lot of soul chatters is kind of getting silent because they're starting to see ETH actually start to bid, after we discussed this. And we told people, hey, ETH is going to move from 2,200, not to below 2K, but all the way up to 3,600. And now people are targeting much higher, whereas before they were like, oh, it's only going to go halfway. Well, guess what? It's going to go a lot higher than what people think. It's got to catch up.
Listen, well, nobody, like, ETH is at 3K and nobody's care. Nobody cares. I find this absolutely insane because I'm one of the guys that's been around for a while, and I do actually remember ETH, even from the cycle before, but like the main area was 200 around it. And if you told people that ETH is going to be trading at 3K, they would laugh at you. Now it's trading at 3K and nobody cares. It went up since 1K. It's at 3K now. Nobody cares, and it's just absolutely insane to me. And it does show how people are completely underexposed to it, and the whales knows this. And I was saying to Tommy before we started the show that it will pump more. It will drag some liquidity away from the market again. And people will be like, all right, that's ETH pump. I am taking the profits and I'm moving away. And what it will do is that it will keep on pumping even higher and higher. And the cope will be just, yes.
Exactly.
and the COPE will be absolutely insane. And suddenly you'll see, we are launching this project and this partnership and this and that, and and we have the ETF. I was saying, and Max was saying, in December, guys, that seasonality for ETH is here and do not fade it, right? And I was saying, hey, let's front run the front runners of the ETF. And it's starting to show, and people will be looking to sell too early, or people will not be caring because it's ETH, right? And as I keep on saying, you want to have exposure to all of these and just flip the ratios. Sometimes it's good to be ratioed for Sol. Sometimes it's good to be ratioed for ETH, and these ratios will flip once again.
I think the other part about the COPE that makes it so bad is that Sol has just been a complete, it's been limp all week. No bounces really.
Wait, all week, or all 2024?
All 2024 so far, yeah. But I will say I think that Sol is probably getting into a level where you see some demand on the ETH pair, the Bitcoin pair, as well as the USD pair. If you don't get a reaction from like the low 90s on Sol, which it does seem like, Bitcoin and ETH can trend higher and Sol can trend into that demand zone at this point, given the weakness on the pair. I would have to imagine that you probably get some sort of bounce out of that level from Sol. Otherwise, you're looking at a much larger cyclical reset on it.
But wouldn't that go against?
I think Sol has bottomed. I think Sol is just about bottomed. But I could see it continuing to lag ETH here for a little bit. But I don't think you're going to get like a major flush on Sol below the previous low. I don't think that's coming.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say, Max, is like, wouldn't that say that ETH is actually dragging Sol up versus Sol is leading the market at this point, at least in 2024, right? And this is kind of the discussion I was getting into. I was like, Sol has ran so hard that it just has to sit still at this point, and other things have to take a front seat. And those other things, again, they lead into what we call speculation. Speculation plays don't play into the hardest running asset. They play into the least running assets, right? And that's why you're starting to see Ethereum start to catch a bid. Probably, and I haven't looked at BNB's chart, but I would be interested in pulling that up, Tucker.
It looked good yesterday when I was
if
looking
you have
at
that one. Because I would say a lot of people have not even looked at BNB in a while. And with that being said, that's something that you always want to kind of keep an eye on, is where people are not keeping an eye.
Some of us has and caught the entire bottom, and everyone told me that it's gonna pull out FTT.
That was never gonna happen. We talked about that, Jacket. So I was like, nah. I was like, these people are high. I'm like,
dude, I think
this
this is where you bid Sol. Look at all these charts, man. This is where you do it in relation to their other pairs as well. Like these are good spots, I think, across the board. And it hasn't been lagging all of 2024, by the way. Sorry, Jackus, I had to expose you right there.
Wait. It's been legit going sideways the entire 2024.
I don't know. That's some outperformance right there against ETH.
Well, are you cherry picking the bottom and ignoring the top?
No. It doesn't matter.
That's actually that's a valuable point right there.
Look at that. That's a 30% move up.
No, but Tucker, that's a lower high.
Just started January.
But he said it's been underperforming or not, whatever. All of before it put in 30% on ETH.
It has been underperforming because there's no point in holding Sol if it's not going to outperform ETH. Just like there's no point in holding ETH if it's not going to outperform Bitcoin.
Yep.
It has been underperforming expectations. Why would you hold Sol if ETH is going to outperform? You wouldn't, right? It has been underperforming.
I don't know. I mean, you're just back to where you started. You really haven't lost anything.
No, you have not. But just go at January 1st, 2024.
To be clear, I'm not suggesting that Sol is a bad investment, and I don't think that Jack said either. But basically, since it put in its local blow off top against ETH, it has been reaccumulating, and that was expected, by the way. And I think you expected that also, Tucker. It's healthy.
Yeah, I legit could not care less what it does above $90. You know what I mean? Like,
Dude, look at this chart. I posted this morning on Twitter, man. Nobody cares about Sol right now. It's literally getting like no
I
engagement.
saw your chart. I saw it.
I'm gonna
yeah.
pull it up. I'm gonna Tommy it. I posted this. This is my completely unfiltered opinion on where Sol is going in the not too distant future. Nobody cares about Sol right now. I posted a Sol chart like 3 months ago. Everybody was super excited about it. Oh man, Sol, we're so good. It's gonna rip. It's gonna keep going up. I posted Sol today, man. Nobody cares. Nobody wants to hear about Sol right now. They don't care. They literally do not care. And I said that. I said, do not take your eye off the ball, because when it exits this reaccumulation, whenever it happens, maybe it takes another week, maybe it takes another month, maybe it takes another 3 months. When we flip that 0.5 fib right there, guys, you see what happened when ETH flipped it right back over here? When we went up and we flipped this complacency shoulder, again, we spent a lot of time talking about the importance of these complacency shoulders when we are exiting a bull market into a major bear market. When you flip that level, you've got a lot of runway ahead of you. The real fun for Sol doesn't begin until we break above 145. And when that happens, I mean, honestly, like I'm expecting it to do something like this. I'm fully expecting like this right here, and then we just go straight vertical to like $900. The same thing. And look at where ETH top, guys. Exactly at the 3.618, like to the dollar. What are the odds, right?
I mean, if Sol's going to 900,
coincidence is what we like to call it.
If Sol's going to 900, then ETH's going to like 17, 17,000,
exactly.
45,000, some insane number. But
it is.
Yes.
It is.
Yes.
The point being, though, we should discuss the elephant in the room that everybody is fading me on and has faded me on, and it starts with an M and ends with a G. I don't know if you guys can make that one out for me, but it's definitely got a cult following behind it, and it's starting to form a rising channel that I think is going to break out to the upside. Tommy, you know what I'm talking about, right?
Yeah, man. Mog's the best bet on chain degeneracy right now for sure. For now.
He's not joking, bro. You can fade me all you want. Look at the chart. Pull up the chart.
Dude. I'm not gonna get into it. I can't.
Because my ladies run it, all right, doesn't mean it's not worth
because
playing.
if I say anything other than number go up, I'm gonna get attacked viciously. And I don't really feel like dealing with that.
Max, I freaking I gotta be honest, I hate the time. When we get to the time when unless you say number go up, moon, rocket, Valhalla, whatever, you are an imbecile. I think that's a reverse situation of when we were talking about being bullish and everyone was like 14K. I think that's and I hate it because it's like people are just retard. Like at that point, people act like retards. It's what it is.
But my community admits to being that. So they'll buy anything pretty much. And
that's always a healthy sign. Yeah, that's always a healthy sign.
They're gonna push it. Like these guys are fully invested. Like every paycheck
that
they've gotten from McDonald's, they're putting in.
I was gonna say that. I'm like, wow, they're gonna move the market a whole penny,
Yeah.
Like, I don't know.
Accumulation is accumulation. Accumulate came from Mog.
Dude, look, man, like, yeah, everything's gonna pump, right? But I think you need to position like, I don't care what you do, right? But I'm just saying in a general sense, like you want to give yourself the best opportunity to be in front of major centralized exchange listings. And I don't know if I see a lot of these smaller on-chain projects being positioned appropriately to get listed on Robinhood or to get listed on Coinbase or to be, listed on perps on all the major Asian exchanges. Like, I don't know if I really see that for a lot of these on-chain projects, which in my opinion does put a cap on what they can accomplish. And that doesn't mean it won't pump. It just means you're not going to, some of the price calls on these on-chain coins, like, oh, it's going to go to, $60 billion, market cap because that's what SHIB did last cycle. And it's just that they're not set up for that, So it's like if we're talking about these on-chain projects, I mean, yeah, they can move, but they're not primed to pull the SHIB or the Doge. They're just not positioned for that.
Well, here's the thing, though. Here's the thing. I'll leave it at this, and I won't push it any further.
And I'm not talking about the coin you're talking about, Will.
Yeah, yeah.
I'm talking about in a general sense. All right.
The coin,
Because everybody's got their favorite on chain.
Yeah, and the one I'm talking about, Max, has it ticks all the box, or at least it should for you, and that's the cult, right? Daily posts. The one good thing that they have in their favor that Pepe never had in their favor is they don't have a poly, and they've never attacked Coinbase directly. They've never attacked any exchange directly, and they continue to be positive in the community and try to push for more and more exposure, and have done so very effectively, right? And that's what I look for when I'm looking for cults, is I'm looking for effective strategies, and they have one. Yes, they wear a lot of My Lady pictures. I agree, and Remilios.
Oh, I hadn't even noticed that. Oh, that's strange. Weird. That's new information to me.
But they do push it hard, and they push it really hard. But
Yeah.
we can leave it at that.
Best of luck to you and them. I hope that you guys make a bunch of money. Let's talk about something
already.
let's talk about something over 100 mil market cap. What do you guys got, Tucker? What are you working on?
Over 100 mil market cap.
Hey, they're close, man. They're close.
I actually
saw an interesting one from somebody in our Discord who posted it on Twitter of Ondo and Tia, which I thought was even better than the Dimension Tia comparison.
Tucker, what price did we call Ondo? I believe it was called in the Discord.
I don't know. It was like 22 cents or something. 20.
Yeah, I think it was near the bottom.
Yeah, it was literally like right in here. Yeah.
Interesting. Yeah.
I don't remember where he drew this thing from, but it looked pretty similar, man.
I still find it absolutely amazing to watch the cycles. Like I remember how everyone was like, man, Sol is next, and then it kept bleeding down, and then everyone started to meme about it, and I was memeing about it too because the price was bad, and I that Solana logo with that on and off. Remember how the chain was going on and off, because that's the reason, right? It was going on and off the entire time, and there's FTX, and these people that are claiming about Sol, they've been nowhere to be found. And I kept saying all the way back to 2022, even before the drop, that like Sol is the freaking major to play. It's going to outperform all of the other majors. But people did not care. They did not care. They were nowhere to be found. Nobody said anything positive about Sol. Now Sol pumps to $100. Everyone starts to talk about how Sol is the greatest thing ever, right?
Yeah.
and how easy is fucking shit. It's gonna reverse, man.
It still is. That's still true, but that doesn't mean that it can't pump.
That's still true, but is it different for Sol? No.
Wait, Jackus, I thought you wanted to see Sol have an outage and everybody hate it, and then you would buy.
Yes.
That's happened.
Where? When?
That happened like 2 weeks. When did that happen?
That did recently happen.
Sol had an outage like a week ago.
No. Look at the comments. Everyone is telling you, how can you dare to talk something bad about Sol? Number go up. Shit. Ease is shit.
Jackus, the guys in our comment section are of a higher level than your usual.
That is true. That is true. But still, people have been buying into Sol the past, the whole 2024. Basically since this whole range. So lots of people are buying into Sol here that is better than ETH, and I'm not saying, like, to be honest, I think they are bullshit coins, to be honest. But Sol is gonna outperform ETH this cycle totally, and I've been saying that. But all of these people need to be learned a lesson. They need to be learned a lesson that the market moves in cycles, and the market makers are the most brutal predators out there, and people are not paying respect to that, which is normal. I've been victim to that too, right? That's why I'm talking here from the position of experience, and I'm saying that, you know, that they gonna absolutely rip Sol to the targets we talked about at some point, but not before they gonna make people question it. Not before the cope will be so hard that ETH is pumping right now and outperforming Sol. Until that, you have time, in my opinion. It's not like that Sol is going to go down in the dollar value or anything, right?
Here we go, boys. This is gonna be some good propaganda. This is gonna be good, man. Somebody asked about RST in the chat, so oh yeah. Oh yeah, boys. Easy. Easy play. Let's see. Where are you? You're right here. You're right. Boom. There's your RST propaganda.
That is good propaganda.
I could do it with Sui. I could do it with INJ. This is the wick fill little U-shape pattern. I don't even know what you call it, but yeah, RST and karate. I don't know if you guys have used the karate thing. It's actually kind of sweet. I don't know what the chart looks like. Interesting.
Did you get the last airdrop, Tucker?
No. So I filled it out and I connected and it was like you successfully registered and I was like sweet, and then I didn't get it. So dude,
Yeah,
I
it was
don't
like
know. It's because it's on Hedera that I'm like, God, why is it on Hedera? That's
so I got the one a while ago, but I missed this last one. I don't know how I missed it. It was like $400. It wasn't anything crazy, but
yeah,
still something.
Yeah.
That was all I had to say. I don't know. I just didn't know if you got it.
Yeah, no, I didn't. I was trying to figure out with one of their guys in there, and it was just not happening. But it's all good. I don't know. I still think RST is going to do well, though, man. This is like the joint bags seed in Alex Moody coin. How could you possibly fade? I don't know, man. I don't know. I was screaming, man. I was screaming down here, screaming. I will admit, I also screamed a little bit up here. I'm not gonna lie, but screaming down here as well to buy this thing.
Tucker's a screamer, guys. It's something you should know about him.
I mean, from the rooftops, here and here.
Isn't it weird how all these are making like these cup formations back to all-time highs?
Will, it sounds like you're muffled, man.
Sounds like you're whispering.
Oh, my bad.
There you go.
I was just saying, isn't it weird that how all these chart patterns are making these cup formations back to all-time high from
Yeah.
these dumps?
No, they are. That's literally what they all look like. INJ, Sui, Render, RST.
I mean, I'm gonna throw the elephant in the room too. Just pull up ICP, for instance, and look at that one too.
Oh, Will, I don't know if I can, in good faith, pull up ICP, man.
I'm just saying, man. I'm just saying. Like, look at the formation. It's the same shit.
It looks like Sol.
I don't know about that one, bro.
It's gonna fill the whole wick, bro.
To 3,000?
Wait, what?
Your max butter.
Nah, this is not.
Man,
These are not the same. I don't know about that one.
That's a stretch there.
The cope will be real.
No.
Mm,
Oh shoot! This is
I
that
don't know
that
if I think
dumpster
that one.
fire, man. This is the dumpster fire. It's the hated one.
Can we get the market cap one? Yeah, there we go. Does that look
I think
any
it
better?
flipped Bitcoin when that happened.
What?
Yeah, when it launched, I think it was so high in value it was over Bitcoin.
390 billion.
I don't remember.
No way.
It jumped
Dude,
to like
that's what the
page
Wick
one.
says.
That was that an actual print? That seems like a.
Bro,
That seems
it
weird.
was people were buying at 4,000, 5,000, 10,000.
Dude, they literally launched at the Pico top, May 21. That is hilarious.
Jeez.
Oh man. Okay, everybody's asking about AIX.
Look at the difference between the market cap and the USDT price on ICP. It's quite interesting.
I don't know. I don't know if that's what you're talking about, buddy. In the comments, holy shit. Seen Will portfolio as well, bro. Is 90% allocated to soybeans. Yeah, I wouldn't doubt it. I wouldn't doubt it one bit. Okay, Pedro, is this AIX on the left you're talking about that you wanted to see or no? I know AGIX is correct, but is this? Mooks. Got paid big tip on ICP. Oh, he's talking about Pondex. That's Paulie's thing.
Yeah, man. There's no quicker way to dox yourself as a complete just so far left side of the IQ bell curve than to put a pig in a purple square next to your name, man, and support that.
I'm sorry.
Such coke, man. It's hard to watch.
Oh man. All right. The people want AGIX. What
No, but one thing I do want to say is like I do give the like if you got in early, it's almost like Hex, right? If you got in early, you are probably capitalizing like crazy on Pondex. But I would not
no,
expect that.
Will, stop it right
No,
now.
no, but just let me finish the conversation
No.
though.
No.
No, but just hear me out. Just hear me out. It probably won't end well if you stay in it. That's the point I want to get to. Is like you can capitalize on any Ponzi, but the Ponzi eventually collapses. And Tommy, you know that with Danny coins and everything else, right? Like the Ohm forks, like we knew what the hell we were getting into, but we still played it because it was profitable.
Of course. Feature, not a bug. Feature, not a bug.
Tommy, what do you make of this volume profile?
Dude, that chart looks insane.
I mean, it's probably just, is this an AI thing too?
It's basically the same chart as render. I mean,
pull up deck screener. No.
What isn't AI these days?
yeah, honestly, like all the AI coins should look, I would hope, aggressively bullish.
Oh my god.
Yeah, what does Tau look like too? I'm curious.
Oh
my goodness.
man. I think it's probably cooling off. Just kidding. It's going straight up in a straight line. Yeah, it's cooling off. It's cooling off. I was right.
Had a Tau fractal.
RST may also have a massive token burn for those that have not. That's real. It is going to have. That's confirmed. About 20 to 30% of the supply will get burned in like a week. Just a heads up.
For what?
For this. Boom.
Are you guys allocated to Flocky? as well as Pepe.
I'm not.
That's a ticker I haven't heard in a long time.
Yeah.
I got some Pepe charts for you guys, though, if you want to talk Pepe.
But
Some fresh Pepe charts hot off the press.
it like the charts look absolutely same. Pepe and Floki.
I say similar. You know. One will pull a 20x, one will pull a 100x, you know. Pretty similar.
I will put the exact same size in both.
God, dude, I remember trading this in here, man. Max, I know you remember that too.
I do.
Jesus Christ, look at this.
No, but I didn't buy spot, man. That was the issue.
No, I didn't either.
You would have been sitting in it for a while before it finally ran, but
For sure. And you'd only be up like 2x-ish. 2.5.
A lot of charts are looking like this right now. I mean, that's the thing. It's are we just getting started and these are about to pull 10x's from their previous all-time highs? Or, I mean, I guess how does this end, right? There's a lot of these newer projects or just like smaller cap projects, a little bit more hype or trend driven that are pushing towards all-time highs. How does it end?
Yeah, I mean, a lot of like all the ones we're looking at that are kind of blowing off right now are definitely AI stuff,
Yeah.
right? Like if you look at like Say and Sui, I mean, obviously I'm on the need to zoom in a little bit here.
Sui's
Max,
Yes, sir.
going to be a cup and handle though.
I think it's still mostly a hot ball of money market. And right now,
Yeah.
that hot ball of money is all up in AI coins. And you know, some of them will obviously have pumps that on a high time frame will be stickier than others. Like I look at that Fetch AI chart, and it looks like it just kind of you know, it pumps really hard, and then it retraces a ton of it of what it pumps, while Render has done like a 12x from the low of last year. So you know, I think it's like varying degrees of stickiness to the pumps, but right now clearly the attention and liquidity is in AI coins, at least from like a super high beta standpoint.
Yeah,
Yeah,
dude, Render is literally INJ, man. That's crazy.
If you got in on support though, you're good.
agreed.
Right? But like if you're buying the pump on Render right now, like at the Pico here, at the resistance, that may not be the best place. But if you bought when Tommy called it, that was a good spot. If you're buying things like, for instance, Sui that just pulled back, those might be okay positions. But you know, I think INJ looks really good too. I like that one. Could go a little bit lower, but I think this is all they're going to give. I think people are expecting it to come back down and retest the resistance breakout, but I don't think it's going to happen yet. I think it's going to happen much, much, much later. So we're going to go up and higher more. And then from there, you know, at the end of the cycle, we may see those lows again.
I mean, there
Jack,
it
if
is.
you were going to say something, man, you said max, and then we started talking about this chart. What were you going to say?
I don't know.
Okay.
They're asking for Pepe Alpha, Max. I know you're pulling it up in the background. I see you.
Pulling it up, brother. I always keep it up. Come on now.
Boom. Get exposed.
Oh. All right. So this is Pepe Doge. All right. Very interesting. It's clearly there's people watching these levels because it's working. So obviously this is Pepe denominated in Doge, and I think that's how you have to look at something like this. Is basically charting your meme coin against the king of meme coins. It's like it's basically like we chart altcoins against Bitcoin. Why would you hold an altcoin if it's not going to outperform Bitcoin? Why would you hold a meme coin if it's not going to outperform and trade well against Doge, which is the king of meme coins? But I think it only makes sense to start with the Doge USD chart if we're going to do this little analysis here. These are my Doge cycles, at least how I view them here. We're going to put Bitcoin down on the bottom. You guys have seen this, but we're just going to continue to track this until something major happens. But Doge really doesn't go too crazy. Like, it can perform well, but it doesn't, do multiples until Bitcoin's in price discovery or like very, very close. But what's super interesting about these Doge cycles, like look at cycle 1, from high to new all-time high, it took 1,216 days. Cycle 2, from high to new all-time high, or I guess global top, 1,216 days. I think the same thing's going to happen again. That put us basically out into Q4 of this year. So very interesting. If you notice here as well, I've got Bitcoin new all-time high marked out by these vertical orange lines as well as these circles. You can see what happens and how quickly it happens once Bitcoin pressures the previous all-time high, which again, I mean, we're kind of close, right? We're at 51.5. I mean, one good weekly candle, we could be above 60K. And at that point, I think it's game on for Doge, But yeah, I mean, I'm fully expecting something like this for Doge. Bitcoin will make a new all-time high. Doge will pop like, 100% off of that. It'll trade at 14, 16, 20 cents, whatever. And then from there, it's just going to continue to mark up and then, rally above $1 into the end of this year. And I think it's possible. I've got a decent little bag, but, going over to Pepe now, actually, I want to I'd rather look at this chart. So it's very interesting to see Pepe trading against Doge like this. Actually, we're going to look at Pepe USD first. This to me looks pretty damn floored. This was our capitulation day where because of, all the scammery that was going on, there was a lot of forced selling into this low, which also lined up perfectly with the midpoint of a monthly imbalance, like perfectly. So I think that low should be safe at this point. This should be our deviation. I guess you could kind of view this as sort of our like range low region with a deviation. And also just from like the simplest of perspectives, right? Like shoulder, head, shoulder. I think it's going to work its way up here pretty soon. Also, Pepe did just get listed on Robinhood in Europe, not here in the US, but I believe in Robinhood EU, you can actually buy Pepe now. So clearly it's on their radar, which will be important for like the real crazy, expansion blow off top. But Pepe USD looks good, but, very, very encouraged by how Pepe Doge is trading because we've been forming this, this little channel for a while here. On our capitulation day, where I mentioned there was some scammery going on and a lot of unnatural forced selling, which we've since, completely reabsorbed, gotten back above the origin of that capitulation, right up in here, which is really great to see, both on the Doge pair here and then also Pepe USD. But I mean, it's clear that Pepe is primed to outperform Doge, and I think Doge will lead. Right, Doge is safer, but this chart, I mean, clearly the levels are being acknowledged and respected here. Look at where we've been rejecting from. So I think it's a matter of time before we see this breakout, retest, and then Pepe Doge does something like this. So of course you have to assume like if Doge goes up 100% and the Pepe Doge chart, let's just take a measured move, right, breaks out of this little channel and goes up 100%, then you're talking about Pepe doubling Doge's performance, right? So if Doge goes up 100% and the Pepe Doge pair goes up, 100%, 200%, 300%, you're talking about, multiple X's that Pepe USD is going to pull. So I've been tracking this pair closely. I've been watching it meticulously. There's a lot of, really strong catalysts for Pepe. I mean, it's a fantastic meme first and foremost, but clearly it's on the radar of some big exchanges. You can trade it on derivatives markets everywhere. I think it's going to be the meme, the craziest meme coin pump of this next cycle. So, I've got a nice little bag of it, but I also own some Doge, right? Like I think Doge is gonna pump. I think there's a really like fundamentally sound reason why Doge can pump. I made a long video on that, but yeah, I mean, this chart looks fantastic, guys. Like Pepe is gonna rip, in my opinion. Pepe is gonna absolutely rip.
Max, I think your targets are too low because Pepe is currently sitting at 500 million market cap, while Doge is at 12 billion. Hope I pronounced it right. But it's basically like Doge is currently 24 times bigger than Pepe, and in my opinion, Pepe can close this gap to about Doge being only like twice bigger than Pepe. So we are talking about, we are basically talking about Pepe doing 12 times more than Doge. And I think Doge, at minimum, this cycle hits at least half or the whole dollar. So that's your Pepe targets times 12. So let's actually look at Doge. Doge is, if it, from the current prices, if it goes to half a dollar, that's 500%. So do 500% times 12. So that's that's at minimum 6,000% for Pepe. That's, in my opinion, minimum for this cycle for Pepe.
I would agree with that. And I mean, looking at things by market cap here, I mean, I think that this year,
it's lining up too.
yeah, it is, and I think that this is so this is Doge last cycle, guys, and I have the market cap chart on just so you guys can see it.
The current market cap of Pepe is 500 million.
Yeah, and look at where we were last cycle. So 500 million. Last cycle was, I mean, kind of, let's just say like in this region,
Yeah.
So I mean, I think this is where we're at, and so let's do this as well. I'll mark. I don't have all the little multiples here, but here is 100 billion market cap for Doge. So 100 billion. So you can see, I mean, I really think Pepe is going to do something like this, guys. Like I have the utmost conviction in it. I really do. I think this is playing out, I mean, just perfectly. I've got a nice comfy bag, might even add some more. But I'm looking at this basically like, and this isn't an FVG. I just want it to, actually maybe it is, but I'm looking at us somewhere like around this region. Like I truly think that we are somewhere in here for Pepe. So I don't know. I'm pretty excited by it, man. I really think it's going to play. It's got the exchange listings. We ditched the most hostile, kind of sub community of Pepe all in one day, man, and then completely reabsorbed all of the forced selling from that capitulation into the low. So we got rid of all the people that we needed to in one day. It's the best meme out there. It kind of saved the market and came at like the perfect time back in May when everybody was just hating crypto and hating their lives. I really think it's going to play, guys. I do. I think it's going to play. So that was my Doge analysis.
I like it. Max.
Do you like it enough to buy Pepe, brother?
Huh? I like the 24 to 50 billion market cap for Pepe.
I already own Pepe, man. I'm not selling Pepe.
Yeah, people will just have a hard time holding until it actually unfolds, and that's where they G their brakes just before it pumps, because they will see other coins doing multiples while Pepe is not, and then Pepe will pump out of freaking nowhere instantaneously, and they'll be like, "Why did I sold? Why?"
Why did I sell? I should have watched Because Bitcoin's market check. They tried to warn me.
We did try. Yeah, I think
Or-
it looks all right here.
Or they will hold and then sell for, 2x or something.
Yeah, I won't be selling, man. I won't be selling until much later. Like I've got a nice little bag, and I mean, let's look at Bitcoin here on the bottom just to see how this Doge top last cycle timed out with Bitcoin. This Doge pump last cycle lined up with Bitcoin on its first top. It didn't even go with this on the second one. That was part of like its distribution. So it's like, I don't know what this cycle looks like for Bitcoin, but I mean, Bitcoin's global top happened. Let's take a little move here. Bitcoin, so from when Doge peaked last cycle, Bitcoin topped 200 days after Doge put in its top. So Doge actually topped well before Bitcoin last cycle. And I know last cycle was weird, like it was a double top. But it's better to position in these meme coins that you have conviction in before the move rather than trying to chase them. Because a lot of people are going to buy Pepe. They're going to buy it right here, which isn't bad. But just saying, it's different.
I still say that the actual top for the past cycle was April 2021. Like price-wise, BTC made another top in November, but the actual top for the market was in April.
Yeah, I would agree with that. For sure.
Max Panda's hit an all-time high just now, by the way.
I bought some more, man, after the partnership announcement.
2.9, 2.89 floor now. Somebody just
Damn, that feels really nice, dude. Because I kind of shoved a little bit more in after we got the partnership done, man, just to support them. But yeah, this is yeah, wow. I mean, who could have foreseen, right? So I put this in our Discord yesterday, guys. Like I put the chart in. It literally looks like here. Let me grab the chart. This is what we're gonna do. So we're gonna go to NFT channel. I'm gonna steal the screenshot from. We posted this in the Discord yesterday, guys. I'm gonna try to put this on the TradingView chart to show you. Dude, pandas are so criminally undervalued, man. It's literally it's embarrassing at this point that more people are not just waking up to it. But so here's the pandas chart. I posted this last night in the Discord, and I said I'm bidding here, and the reason for it is I gotta make this white.
Can you get rid of all those dots?
No.
You can't just make it a line chart?
No.
You can pull it up on CoinGecko, I bet, as a line chart, but.
So just looking at like, I don't know if you guys can see this okay. But they clearly broke out, right? Here's the panda chart. You can see that we clearly broke out here. And I said, look, guys, we're retesting. Like we broke out. This isn't perfectly drawn. But like we broke out of this previous all-time high right here. I bought the breakout, last night. I think they're going so much higher, man. So much higher. Excited to talk about the all-time high. We're doing a show with them later today, man. It's going to be fantastic.
Higher.
Yeah, man.
Is now a good time to buy Pepe. Did you catch the last bit of analysis that we just did? Where did it go? Doge. Doge.
And I think
I'm going to answer your question right here.
It makes sense to when I look at a lot of the assets that outperformed over the last summer and on chain. I think in 2023, they do look to me like they're trying to carve out bottoms, like things like Milady's. I know you don't like to hear that, Max, but things like Milady's, DMT is another one that's trying to carve out a bottom. It's slowly starting to get more and more attention, and they've got some announcements coming in March. So yeah, I think we're probably not far away from some sort of much larger rotation back on chain, which happened around a similar time of the year last year.
I hope so, man. And here's the thing. I don't care. Like you can you can talk about that project. It's not my favorite, but they'll probably benefit from majorly. I mean, they'll probably majorly benefit from an ETH on-chain season, and you're probably right that we're right around the corner from that. And I advocate this in our Discord quite a bit. I say, guys, like, look, an altcoin is an altcoin right now. You know, like, you look at Total 2 and Total 3, every single altcoin is primed to get sent. Some will get sent much harder, of course, but every NFT is going to get sent. You know, every microcap is going to get sent. Like, the whole asset class is going to bubble, in my opinion. I think crypto is basically right around the corner of its .com bubble right now. I think with the spot ETF getting approved, this is when people go further out on the risk curve and just start buying everything. I think this is our .com bubble right now. This is our 2002. Here, let's just wildly speculate, right? Let's pull up the NASDAQ here. Let's go back and we'll take a look at the .com bubble, guys. So this was back in.
You mean the NVIDIA chart?
Yeah, right. But this is, this is what I'm talking about right here from 1995, right as, the internet is becoming a thing. Look at the bubble that formed here, from 1995 up until the peak in 2000. Look at what happened. I think that it's possible that we're somewhere around for crypto right now. Like, we're somewhere around here, in our .com bubble, as crypto's now sort of becoming mainstream adopted, in my opinion. So let's pull up Total. My computer's so laggy today, guys. I don't know what's going on. But I really think it's just going to be silly. It's just going to be absolutely silly what's about to happen. I think we're going to look back on this period right here, and maybe it's, I don't even know, right? It's not going to play out one-to-one, but I think you're going to look back on this period and it's going to be like, this was your pre-.com bubble right here. And you're just about to get, seriously, like, the mother of all bubbles, because people are going to just start, like, wildly speculating on crypto, and they feel a little bit more, like, interested and insulated now that it's being talked about in an institutional setting. We didn't have that before. I think we're going to see our .com bubble. I don't know if we crash back down like this, but it doesn't really matter, because, like, look what happened after. We could do something like this.
Max, you're gonna like this. Let me show you what I just did on the Panda chart. Also, somebody said when BB terminal, because we really need it to chart NFTs like this. Having. Have you talked to Ed, Max? You think it'll be out before the halving, maybe?
Yeah, man. Ed is skipping ETH Denver to work on it, try to get it done sooner. So yeah, he's on top of it, man. He's a machine, dude. What are we talking about, Tucker?
Dude, look, I actually was able to do a little bit of TA on this, even though it's hard with, like, all the
fib on there.
Layers. Yeah, I put a fib on it.
That's fantastic.
So, looking for about 4 ETH. We've clearly flipped all-time highs, but this is the best I can do until the terminal comes out. But yeah.
Yeah, that looks great, man. I think the floor probably should be around 4, like, really quickly. We reaccumulate, then move higher. The big question is, like, how much do we close that gap between the Pudgy Penguins? That's sort of like as of right now, it's the hottest project for this cycle, no question about it. They were the first to move off the low, aggressively pumped. Really happy for them, but I do believe that there is a dislocation in the valuation between Pudgy Penguins and Compai Pandas. So the big question is, like, what does that pair look like, right? What does the Panda Penguin pair look like?
God, I wish I could chart it, man. I wish I could chart it.
Me too. BB terminal,
soon.
But it's I think that we're going to close that gap, right? So they're sitting at like a 20 ETH floor right now, give or take. I think a valuation of I mean, truthfully, I'd say
At least
5 or
half.
7 floor for Panda pretty quickly if they continue up, hanging around 20 or even higher. I mean, what did things top at last cycle, man? We had NFTs selling for $5 million last cycle, more.
Mm-hmm.
You know, can we pull up like, Bored Apes? That was the hottest project of last cycle. What did their
Can I
top?
Just
can I
destroyed.
ask you guys a genuine question about NFTs?
Huh.
Like all of you?
Sure.
So I'm one of the guys that's not really much into NFTs, and I see you guys are, and it's a genuine question. But what is like the difference between the Bored Ape Yacht Club, the Pandas, and the My Ladies? Why buy one at all, and if so, then which ones?
Dude, how do I even find the
Um,
floor here?
So I'm not the best NFT trader. The only NFTs that I own right now are Pandas. The only thing. I can tell you why I personally bought them, but I can't tell you in a general sense why you should or shouldn't buy other projects. But I watched the Pandas all through the bear market. I was prospecting like 5 different projects, and I wanted to see which NFT projects would not only survive in the bear market but thrive. And I watched the Pandas do just that. While we were building because Bitcoin, I watched them absolutely grind and innovate. I also recognize like their connections, what they're doing, who's behind it. A lot of big names are heavily invested in it as well, and they're constantly looking to expand upon their ecosystem. By partnering with companies like ours, because Bitcoin, right? Just further improving the utility and experience. So yeah, for me, it was more of a bet on the people type of play, where I was watching the people and what they were building and their demeanor during horrible market conditions. And then once I believed the market was starting to look upwards, which is like, October of last year, when I flipped super bullish, I was like, okay, I knew I wanted to have some NFTs and have like, decent exposure. Let's pick one project that I am positive is not going to just flake, and just rug the project. And I felt the utmost conviction in the Pandas, and it turned out to age quite well. But I don't, I'm not like an NFT trader. I can't tell you why
I am.
any of the other projects are good or bad. I'm just focused on this one, for better or
I,
for worse.
I flip floors,
Yeah.
Max. I flip floors when it comes to NFTs. But I will say this. It took a little while, but Max came around. I was talking to them about Pandas in Miami when we were at the Because Bitcoin event, and I was like, "Come down, check out this event, yada yada." Bobby did come though, and it was pretty cool. But I think that was where we first had our interactions with the Pandas.
I think for
So,
me,
all right.
real quickly, I was just gonna say, I think for me, betting on NFTs, it's kind of like betting on a token. You're either betting on people, like Max said, or you're betting on a cult to form around the idea, or kind of just the community. Usually, one of those two things are going to be the highest performers, or present in the highest performers.
Yeah, Tucker, you got an A to the NFT question? Your take
On what like sets them apart?
Yeah, like what I basically asked at the beginning, right? And the
Mhm.
guys gave their take, and I can repeat the question. So the question was like, because I'm not too much into NFTs and still trying to see the utility in them. I mean, I see the value in skins and things like CS:GO, right? But like in because there's the scarcity and there's the demand for the game, right? And the more the player base goes, and some of these scarce skins, they will go up in value a lot. So I do see like value in that. But when I look at stuff at if I would be picking a project, like again, just picking 3 random ones, like I know you guys in Pandas, then there is the Melodies, and then there is the Bored Ape. Yeah. So why should I pick any of these at all? And then if so, why should I pick ones over the others, right? Or
Yeah,
if it's let me know your take.
yeah. So I mean, I think it's I mean, NFTs in general, if they're on ETH, can be viewed as levered ETH, right? It's just a higher beta play to ETH. So that's one. Two, I think, kind of the stuff Max talks about, like if you're building in shit conditions, you're going to do well in a bull market. But when you talk about something like the pandas, like the ability to the dynamic rarity aspect of it, like the whole rarity aspect of NFTs in general, right, is different than tokens, right? It's like if you could buy rare Solana token, you can do that with sats or whatever, but like that's just clunky, it's just like it's a different game. It's almost, I view it almost as like diversification from tokens, and obviously they're a little bit more liquid, but um you want that like cult community, that like strong following, which they have. You want, and it's also kind of, I view the Panda Pudgy thing like ETH Bitcoin almost, right? When Bitcoin was sitting at like 48K and ETH was at like 2,500, like that's where like Pudgy Panda ratio is. It's the catch up trade. So I know you can understand that piece of it, but yeah, like the ability for Panda specifically to change your level of rarity, and like you'll have to get into it. There's some threads written about it, but there's they have like suites at Allegiant Stadium that they raffle off, and like depending on the rarity of your panda, you get points, and you use those points to participate in raffles. Like, and one of the benefits was, we gave away the BB sunglasses, right, which gives you lifetime access to our GigaChat Discord. So there's real utility in a lot of the stuff they do.
Hold up, did you say
right?
lifetime access to our Discord?
25 traits. 25 traits that are sunglasses that are being raffled off for panda holders in the PP decks.
But did you say lifetime access to the Discord?
Yeah.
Bro, what? What was this? I didn't even know that was a thing, man. What the?
Will, you have access, brother.
Bro, all right, my bad.
We'll try to join with another account now.
But it's transferable, right? So it's like these traits,
So
right?
it.
If I want to sell my trait to somebody else, I can do that, and they'll pay whatever they deem it's worth, right? So whatever they deem lifetime access to BB Discord is worth, that's how much the trait should be worth, right? And these traits can be traded. This whole secondary market for the stuff. It's like a whole little ecosystem, really. So
Yeah, I wanted to add to that real quick, Tucker. And yeah, you're right on point. Rarities and traits are one thing, and then how well they build out the Ponzi-nomics is the other, right? And that's are there prizes, are there rewards, are you getting something for holding these, right? Is there a reason to hold them? And there are quite a few different projects doing that, Pudgy's being one, right? Pudgy's just recently got an airdrop, as far as for all Pudgy holders. I think it was worth $7,000 or something like that. I'm sure that's well over what most of these people paid for their Pudgies. And then you have, man, I don't want to drop the alpha, but you do have some stuff with some other ones that will probably be getting wormhole drops. I won't name the project, but you could probably figure it out if you pay attention. We'll probably be getting wormhole drops based on utilizing wormhole, and that's going to be really big. And I think moving forward, we're probably going to see more and more projects apply pressure towards getting their at least their buyers or their consumers, because that's what a lot of people like to call them, not investors but consumers, um, ways to get funds back in their pocket, ways to enjoy being a part of the community, and utilizations as far as discounts and everything else for like stores. It's and another one that I've been pretty adamant about is the Lulus. I think that one will have some pretty decent Ponzi-nomics, as far as like how they go about getting their investors or their buyers to stay involved with the community, so on and so forth. And we're going to see more and more of that. What we call that at the end of the day is utility, right? So the more utility that gets applied to these crypto NFT projects, the better they are. So if you think the project has potential for utility, then it's a buy, man, especially if they're cheap. But if the project doesn't have any like real ambition and no real reason to add utility to the project, what is the real value other than rarity? I mean, at that point, you're just flipping coins on the floor. So I would say it's not worth investing in those ones. But you got these top 5, these top 10 that are applying pressure towards bringing value to their holders and what people like to call them consumers.
Yeah. So I absolutely appreciate all of your guys' takes. From what you guys said, some of the NFT projects seems like basically meme coins, to be honest, because you talked about the community being vibrant, right? The kind of the scarcity but yeah, mainly the community, being vibing around it, and that's similar to meme coins. You're basically just it's like a leverage beta, basically, right, to the ecosystem that you buy the NFTs on. So whether it's Sol or ETH, and then I definitely like the utility. So what I've seen is that sometimes there are NFTs that you can just join a Discord group, right? So if you prove the verification that you are holding some of these NFTs, they let you to a certain group. I like that idea. Then that's definitely utility to hold these and then swap in time, obviously, as the value of the group grows. The value of those NFTs will be larger too. It will also depend a lot about how the founder of those NFTs actually is trying to create that utility for those tokens. So, if for example, I don't know, there is some project, right? And then he finds a utility like, hey, you can be part of the BB Discord and you can go to freaking concerts with this, right? NFT, and you can do this and that. So that's going to create lots of actually like a being a multi-pass to certain events, and that gives a demand to hold that NFT, and I actually like that. Right, at the end of the day, it's just a random picture in this regard, but if the founder is a good marketer or salesman, then he can make pretty good deals. And the other aspect, like, because this wouldn't have to be an actual image, right? Like, this could just be some, like, I don't know, validation proof. The fact that you have the picture is just like, just so it's something. But when it comes to the actual picture of those NFTs, then I really do see the value in the games, right? Again, going back to CSGO, I absolutely see the value there where you can actually like use, like, in terms of the skin, if it were the NFT, you can actually use it and play with it. That creates lots of demand. I do hope we see that one makes the most sense to me. I also liked a comment from Crypto Ocho. That one would make sense too. Like, I do not know how to say that, but NFTizing the real cards, although I'm not sure if there are any technical problems with that. But like having those as verification to the actual ones, right? That one does make sense to me too. So yeah, lots of good thoughts and takes on this.
Yeah, and I think you're viewing it right. Like I definitely see some similarities between NFTs and meme coins. There's a lot of overlap in my opinion. So I think you're viewing it correctly, and from an investor's perspective, I think the best way to look at it is like a leveraged ETH or SOL or whatever chain you're on long without the risk of liquidation. It's like,
Yeah.
okay, what if I buy a Compi Panda at 3 ETH, right around where we're at right now, and ETH is at 3,000, all right, so I spend $9,000 on it. Now, what if the floor goes from 3 to 6, and then ETH doubles as well, then you're talking about huge returns, so if the floor goes from 3 to 6, that's fantastic. You have 3 more ETH than you had before. But what are those ETH worth? They were 3K at the time of purchase. Now they're potentially, 6,000. So you might go from, $9,000 investment to $36,000 investment in that scenario if ETH doubles and the floor price doubles. And you don't pose the risk of getting liquidated like trading perps. So it's just an interesting way to get exposure to a chain, but you definitely have to know what you're doing and be careful. So I mean, I'm more into like the established projects type of NFT investing. And again, I'm not an
Yeah.
NFT investing expert, you know.
Yeah, it will also probably matter a lot on what Will was saying about the Ponzinomics, about those, and who's really a better marketer in this case. And in this case, we are like what people would be really looking for is just do a giant charade and trying to convince a better fool to buy your bags, basically. But with those utilities, like again with the pandas, if there is an incentive, like what I would love for some of these is the incentive to keep holding them, like not selling them, like because again, all of this does make sense. But if there is an added utility, like again, if you hold the pandas, you get an access to the BB Discord, right? And you do not have to be paying each month again. You just hold the NFTs, then Jesus, that gives you an incentive to just forever hold them, which creates further scarcity for the other ones, right? That's basically then kind of like BTC, where we have all these, each cycle adds a new layer of hodlers, and each cycle there is less and less BTC available on the market, which is, by the way, we can see that on chain right now, right? That the hodl waves are going higher. The number of BTC on exchanges and OTC desk is like super, super low. That's, by the way, why I keep saying that like the demand is super exceeding the supply, not to mention the halving around the corner, lowering the supply even more. So, with this parallel, this I kind of like this.
So you're gonna buy some NFTs?
Only I'm too old, too tired, and too comfortable to do the research on them. But if someone gives me a good enough reason and a research to find what I just described, maybe like a soul NFT, right? Because I want to be long soul, then finds a NFT project with a utility where there's an incentive to hold. And yeah, I might have some.
Okay.
I mean, I do hold some, okay, but it's just like, if all of that goes to zero, I don't even care. It's just like just to have an exposure, just to try it out.
Just for fun.
Yeah, basically.
I have a few of those.
Yeah.
I have a few that were like a friend's project that I still have minted in my wallet, and I don't know if they'll ever be worth anything, but
Yeah.
Maybe they will be.
Hey, you gotta support your friends, right?
Got to.
I actually hold NFTs on 3 chains, to be honest. When I think of it.
All right, guys. I say let's call it here. We've been going for about an hour and a half. Guys, thanks so much for being here. This is Market Check brought to you by Because Bitcoin. Guys, seriously, thanks so much for being here. Before you guys leave, if you can do us a solid, hit the like button. Also, please subscribe if you have not yet. We're growing like crazy, and it's thanks to you guys. So not only like, but please consider subscribing. Also, check out the first link in the description below. It'll take you to our website. It's becausebitcoin.com/premium, where you can browse our premium products, premium services, and also read reviews on our Discord. Guys, it is a fantastic, one-of-a-kind Discord. Prices are going to go up very soon, so get in before that price spike. Like we mentioned earlier in the show, the reason for that price spike is we're going to be bundling our Discord together with our new flagship product called the BB Terminal. It's basically a Bloomberg terminal, but for crypto people. So you're going to want to use it. You're going to want to be in the Discord. Prices are going to go up. Get in before the BB Terminal drops, which again is right before the Bitcoin halving. But yeah, guys, a little bit about the Discord. We do 2 private live voice calls every single day, one at New York session open and the other at the New York session close. Again, it's 2 hours a day. You get to speak with me, Will, Snorlax, Jackus, Tucker, and Wabi twice a day. We cover everything twice a day. That's the last time I'm going to say twice a day. you never miss a beat, because we got eyes all over every corner of the market. We also have active positions channels. We also have TA channels where we share premium analysis that we don't talk about on YouTube or on X. So guys, definitely consider checking out the first link in the description below, becausebitcoin.com/premium, and signing up sooner rather than later before prices go up. And you'll also get early access to BB Terminal to be part of the beta testing crew. So with that said, let's kick it over to Tommy to say a final farewell.
All right, guys. Yeah. No, thanks again for tuning in, wrapping up your Thursday mornings with us if you're an American, your afternoons if you're a European. But as always, we appreciate your continued support of the brand. And before we end the show, I want to touch on our programming real quick. Market Check will return again, of course, tomorrow morning at 11 a.m. Eastern time. A reminder that we are live every weekday and that there is no second best daily YouTube live stream to talk about these markets. Additionally, our flagship show, Market Talk, which is a Twitter Spaces, is live Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, Friday, typically around 4:15 to 4:30 Eastern time start. And that's a Twitter Space, like I said, hosted by the one and only King Wabi. Exceptional guests on every day, every week. We talk markets, everything from equities and crypto and general market opinions to meme coins. So it's a great time. But that's all from us, guys. We'll see you tomorrow for the Friday show. Finish up the week strong. It's been a bit of a shorter week, but no shortage of alpha coming from our end. But thanks again for tuning in, guys, and have a great rest of your day.